What's up, Exchangers? Jake here. I want to make a quick video on our new PSA grading form for the shop. It is June 30th, 2020. We've been using this form for about a month now and just wanted to break it down to make it easier for people to understand. Remember, PSA orders are only accepted in store. We do not accept mail-in submissions right now just because of the amount we already get. So here are the forms. This is available on the website. You can download, print it off. We're actually asking you to do that and fill this out before you bring in your cards. It's 2 sheets. This is just for extra in case you have more cards than fit on here. Just make sure to mark the pages at the top that if you have extra forms so we know there is more to your order. So let's start off with the easy thing. Name, phone, and email here at the top. Please make sure to fill that out first and get it done. We've already had a few people forget, and we want to make sure that we know whose order is who. And also, please make sure to write your email legibly so we can see that, because that's how we communicate with you for everything. So triple make sure that it is readable, and if there's any zeros, put a line through it, that type of stuff, so we know whose is who. Alright, so let's start with the first thing it says up here. Please submit a separate form for each level of grading each are submitting. So that means down here we have all different types of levels for submission. Let me do that real quick. So it's broken down by year and value. So we have different types of bulk and then others after that based on value. So even if you're doing 2 different types of bulk levels, bulk modern, which goes to 2016, which includes cards from 16-17, as basketball and hockey do split years. So if you have cards from 16-17, those go on the bulk modern 2016. So if you have those type of cards, say you have a LeBron rookie and then you have a Zion rookie, you need to do 2 separate forms, one for your modern service level and then one for your ultra modern service level. That applies for anything you have on here. So anytime you're putting a number in a different column, you need to do a separate form for that order. That's for us. These forms are just for us, guys. These are not going to PSA, so if you feel like you messed up something, it's okay. Feel free to ask questions. These are just for our records and your records. For PSA, we have to enter in every single card manually. So that's why it's important for this top level here to be done correctly for us, or as close as correct as possible. Breaking that down, you got sport. Feel free to use abbreviations: BK basketball, BB baseball, FB football, HK hockey, and so on and so forth. Quantity, so you don't have to list out every single card. If you have 5 of the same card you want to submit, you can put a number 5 in there, and then we'll know. Year, pretty self-explanatory. Brand names, so that means just the base type of card it is. So if it's a Panini Prism basketball card, just put Panini Prism there. Topps baseball, clearly authentic, do Topps clearly authentic. You can abbreviate if you need to, because I know it's not a lot of space. Insert parallel name. That means if it's the parallel is a variation of the base card. So like for Prism, you have silvers, you have purples, blues, refractors, do all that stuff in there. This one's really important for us, especially for photo variations. For cards that might not be noticeable for when we're entering in. We know most of the color parallels and things like that, or can figure it out, but sometimes we'll go across a card, especially for Topps baseball, for the base and the updates. They do photo variations. Those are harder for us to figure out. So if it's a photo variation, please make sure to put that on there, and maybe even put a sticky note on the card saying this is photo variation, and they have a name of it. Do that for us. Autograph, just put a yes or a Y if it is autographed. Player name, self-explanatory. Serial number is a little different. We've had some questions about serial number. There's card number and then there's serial number. Not all cards have a serial number. So serial number is either usually on the front or back. So here's an example. This one's on the back. So you can see right here, number 10 of 27 is a serial number. Usually it's a stamp on there. So that put that in the serial number column. This one also has a card number. Every card has a card number. This one's card number 122. We don't need that information. We just need to know if it's a serial number on the card. If it doesn't have one, just leave it blank or put a line through it. Once you fill all that out, you should be good to go. Please try and group your cards by like kind. So if you have a bunch of different Prism stuff, please put them in order, and please stack them on the sheet, or stack them in order of what you have on the sheet. If you're looking for us to review cards, obviously please set up an appointment as we said on the site. Also, if you only have a few cards you want to review, put those at the bottom of the sheet so you can still fill it out. We can just always cross those out and just update your total once you're in the shop. Please make a copy and take a picture of your cards with this form for your records. It's very hard for us to go back and look and find your forms because we have so many. So it saves us time and you time to know when you submitted your cards, what cards you submitted. Please keep track of your own cards, basically. Service levels down here, like I said, is broken down by year for the bulk orders, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Where it gets tricky is declared raw value. What we mean by declared raw value is the value of the card as it sits right now, not of what it could be worth if it gets graded a certain level. It's if you were to sell the card right now, what level does it pretty much have? And what we need to do is we need to bump up the cards that are worth more. So if you're trying to send in the bulk orders, if these cards are worth more, you have to send it on a quicker turnaround time or a more expensive turnaround time. You have economy under $4.99, regular is under $9.99, express is $24.99. You can always bump up cards to send them faster if you want. You don't have to just because if the value is under $100, just send it on bulk and wait. You can always send it in a faster order. But what we can't do is put more expensive cards on the bulk orders. Those need to go on a higher level of service. And if you have questions about that, we're more than happy to answer those for you in the shop. But if you know a card's worth $200, $300 or more, you need to bump that up to the next level because PSA is going to upcharge you anyways. And if we do that too much, they're going to get on us about sending in high value cards on those orders. These prices and turnaround times can change, and they will change. So when you're watching this video, they might be different on the sheet than what you see now. We just had to change our price level for bulk ultra modern because PSA just bumped their price $3 a card. They said that's temporary, so by the time you watch this video, it might be back down to 15. All these prices might be different. Turnaround times might be different. Let's break down this last section here. These are kind of our rules and regulations, basically, to kind of help you out and understand why we're doing what we're doing. High value items may be subject to a higher premium price bump from PSA depending on the grade. This is only for PSA and not Beckett. Sometimes if you send cards in a bulk, they might be worth closer to the $100 range. They get a 10. Say in the 5 months they're at PSA, they go up over time. PSA reserves the right to bump your price up to that next level. So you might get some upcharges as you come back. That's out of our control. That's just what PSA does. So you have to understand that. And we'll let you know which cards get upgraded if they do come back and those grades. Turnaround times are estimated business days. So that means Saturdays, Sundays, holidays don't count, and they are not guaranteed. So that's why we have estimated up there. Right now, PSA is very behind. They're taking 5 to 6 months in the bulk orders, sometimes even longer, and longer on some other express orders and regulars and things like that. So just because we have a certain time listed up here doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be done in that. Sometimes it gets done faster. A lot of times it takes a little bit longer. Also with PSA, it takes sometimes 3 to 4 weeks for cards to get entered into the system once they receive it. It takes us a week or two to send out our orders because of how much sorting and time it takes to put together orders. Every month we send 15 to 20 different types of orders, and we have to separate those even if they're the same level. Like say for bulk ultra modern, we had 11 different types of orders this last month because we can't submit the same cards on the same orders. We won't know whose is whose. So we have to break those down. That's why it takes so long sometimes too. The processing of it takes a while. You will keep records like we talked about. Take a copy or take a picture and make a copy of your form because we cannot provide these at a later date for you. We're asking you to be responsible for those and help us out without taking up more time. We will contact you guys by email once your order has been completed and returned to the shop. So the day they get back, we separate all the orders out, we price them out, and we send an email out to you. So those are updates we have for you. And that leads into the last one is I will not contact Indy Card Exchange for updates on any outstanding grade orders, and understand that if I do, I may subject myself to losing the opportunity to submit cards through the shop for grading in future. The reason we have this in here, guys, is we get a ton of calls, a ton of messages, a ton of emails about people asking for updates on their orders. Unfortunately, we don't have any updates. We're working on a system now to provide you with better stuff that may already be up on the site by the time you're watching this video. But with PSA, like I said, because they could be in any type of level for a long time, orders take a while. We know it's frustrating. We have cards, a lot of cards there we grade ourselves, but we can't spend so much time answering those emails, those messages, those calls asking if we have any updates because we don't. So we're not trying to be rude, we're not trying to be mean about it, but it takes up so much of our time that we need to be spending with our customers in the shop and helping improve our processes and what we do for you guys. So please be patient with us. We will email you the day they come back. If for some reason you don't get our email, we follow up with phone calls within a week or two to make sure you got those emails. So you will be notified. You will not miss it, we promise. And you'll get your cards back. We definitely guarantee that. Everything's fully insured. You don't have to worry about that. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to please reach out to us. We can definitely help. We know it's confusing for certain things, and we're not afraid to be able to help you out if you guys need it. So please watch this video. If you have any other questions, contact the shop. Print out your form, complete it, bring it to the shop. The last thing is, guys, please also put your cards in these semi-rateds. We have them available at the shop if you need to. If you have a lot of cards, we please ask you that you come get them first and put them in your cards at home. You can put them in soft sleeves before you put them in there too, and do that before you bring in your cards. Like I said, any other questions, contact the shop. Thanks, guys.